What's going on, everybody? So the big story today is that Xbox themselves are going through some massive layoffs. And what I find funny about it is not even a month ago, they were just at Summer Gamesfest showing off all kinds of stuff. Now they're singing kind of a different tune. So let's go on over and check out this article that I pulled from GameStop. Now, says here real big, and I like this up top, this mecha break. Yeah, there we go. Steam and Xbox Series X and S, but now they're closing a bunch of studios. But the big thing here is Microsoft has announced as of today, July 2nd, that they are cutting. Did I say Microsoft? Microsoft. We'll just go. They are cutting 4% of their worldwide staff, and that's about 9,000 people. Now, doesn't really seem like a whole lot given that as a global company, they employ more than 200,000 people. But the exact number of cuts is unknown, but Microsoft has confirmed that it is across a broad number of studios that they are doing, that they are slashing all this. Now, Phil Spencer sent a memo out claiming that the job losses were necessary for the enduring success of Xbox. But it doesn't really make sense to me, because if Xbox is doing so great, why do you need to slash so much? And we can't really know how much of it is from the Microsoft side, how much of it is from Xbox side, because they're not going into this. But he said, we will end or decrease work in certain areas of the business. Let me go highlight that there. And follow Microsoft's lead in removing layers of management to increase agility and effectiveness, he said. Well, I mean, that does... The way he worded it sounds pretty good, because I kind of enjoy the idea of less management, always looking over people's shoulders and telling them what to do. He also addressed the fact that the cutbacks are coming at a time when business is booming for Xbox. And he says, I recognize that these changes come at a time when we have more players, games, and gaming hours than ever before. Something doesn't really sound right. But you can look here on this GameSpot article. There's a whole lot. You guys don't need me to read it word for word, the whole thing. The thing is though, what also is interesting, Microsoft's stock price slid slightly after the layoff news. But the price has been trending upwards in the past 5 years. And Microsoft is currently the number 2 most valuable company, right behind Nvidia. And if you ask me, that's the whole thing with Nvidia, was they got this whole bunch of backing by the US government, and it's a whole big thing. But one of the studios was Raven Software. And if you don't know, right there, Call of Duty. Raven Software has a lot to do with Call of Duty. The studio co-developed Black Ops 6 and is co-developing Black Ops 7. And they're also involved with Warzone. Once again, the exact number or nature of the cuts at Raven is unknown. Now, the next one is Turn 10. And as you can see in the picture, put it up. Yeah. Turn 10 is Forza. And it says here, the report said that nearly 50% of the staff were let go. I personally have never played a Forza game. From what I have heard from some of the Xbox people, not much really changes. So if you're just releasing the same game over and over, I mean, I guess you don't need that much of a staff for it. So, but that also now hinders any creativity or any creativity or any type of changes that you would want to do to try to mix things up, because That's one big thing that people are they're pointing out anymore is we're just getting a lot of the same old stuff with our games anymore. But moving on, the next is a well-known studio, Rare. And their game was called Everwild. I thought for a second Everwild was a studio. No. With the studio's upcoming game, Everwild was canceled. Now, Everwild was announced in 2019, and it had been in development nearly 10 years when this decision came down. Anonymous developer speaking to VGC said that Rare couldn't find the right direction for this project even after it was rebooted. Yeah, I mean, to me, that just sounds like the right thing to do. If after 10 years you're rebooting it, you still can't find your right direction, it's just time to scrap it and maybe find something else. Another thing, something that I've heard was going around because I kind of enjoy MMOs. ZeniMax was working on a new MMO codenamed Blackbird, and it's been canceled. Now, this is another game that had been in development for a while, since 2018, 7 years. But also, longtime exec Matt Feurer, or whatever, is also reportedly leaving the company. Now, I always kind of chuckle at this one because she just looks like an angry Karen to me. Yeah, I don't know why. It's so funny, but Karens are just funny to me. But Perfect Dark and the Initiative, that game is being scrapped. And from what they're saying, that for a while, the game was in a rough shape. So Xbox, Microsoft has just decided, you know what? We're just going to sweep that off. We're going to clean the slate. We're going to do something else. Now, another one, High Moon, is a longtime Call of Duty code developer. And they, of course, they've been affected by the cuts too, according to Charlie Intel. The studio has for years supported Call of Duty Warzone and other Call of Duty projects. Sounds like they're a very minor team involved with the game. So if you're trimming fat, of course, that sounds like a good way to go. And for the third developer that's always involved with Call of Duty games, Sledgehammer. And they are also part of it. But once again, we don't know a whole lot. We don't know the exact numbers. But, and then Blizzard and Warcraft Rumble. Blizzard has announced that Rumble support will not continue in its current form. They will have systemic events and bug fixes will still be made, but there is no new content being added. And there's also reports that Blizzard employees will shift to different roles while others will be let go. And once again, an exact figure has not been confirmed, but it's said to be as many as 100 people. Honestly, I don't know how big that team is to begin with. So yeah, this is the big story going on with Xbox. Like I said, I find this funny that not even a month ago, almost nearly a month ago, was it June 6th at Summer Gamesfest? Was it Sunday? Xbox had almost an entire show to themselves to showcase all this stuff going on. But now you're saying you need to trim a lot of fat, despite the fact that Xbox is doing great and you've got more players and more games and more this and more that. And sorry, just to me, it doesn't sound like there's a whole lot making sense here. If you're doing so great, you know what? I'm all for trimming the fat, but I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens with all these games. See where these, it sucks that people are losing their jobs. But like I said, it sounds like there's fat trimming and we could use a lot less managers doing a whole lot of just walking around and clearly not doing a whole lot. So, but anyways, if you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, and share. If you didn't, you're also welcome to hit the thumbs down on that. But please help Rob and I grow. Like, subscribe, share. And if you'll excuse me, I've gotten into Magic with the whole Final Fantasy thing, and it's time for me to go lose some matches in Arena. So I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.